Bulldogs, who are number 6 coming into this game, climb all the way on top.
Hi again, hockey fans. Great to be with you and welcome into week number 7 of CCHA Now, right here from the CCHA production studio. My name is Ben Holden. It is great to be with you. Well, the Northern Michigan Wildcats, Mike Santarelli, one of their former players, he and 10 other players from around the CCHA, their jerseys and their NHL jerseys will be available for you coming up at the CCHA Championship March 16th and 17th, but you have to be there, have to be in person to have a shot to win one of these great CCHA jerseys. Wildcats, like Ferris State this past weekend, they swept in their CCHA series. And how do you not mention the Ferris State Bulldogs? Well, you have to. They're number 1 in college hockey this week, the first time in the history of the program up in Big Rapids. So congratulations to Bob Daniels and the Bulldogs. What do you say we kick the show off and drop the puck as we always do with our top 10 plays of the week? We'll start you off with plays 10 through 6. And we head to the Great White North for that. Alaska hosting Jimmy Rock's Lakers. Kyle Jean, a sweet look to Nick McParland, who finishes and beats Scott Grenham in a 4-2 Lakers victory on Friday night. In at number 9, back in the continental U.S., Steve Cady Arena down in Oxford, non-conference game with Miami hosting Alabama Huntsville. Brian Palazzo, great effort to wrap around for the game winner in a 3-1 Redhawks victory on Friday night. In at number 8, it takes us up to East Lansing. Wolverines and Spartans doing battle once again. See so many talented players in these two teams when they get together. Great look, great dish by Phil DiGiuseppe to the red-hot AJ Triace for the one-time rip. Spartans would win the game 3-2, but Triace representing with our number 8 play of the week. In at number 7, we head to Big Rapids. Ferris State could not stop Red Wings first-rounder Riley Shahan here. A one-time rocket off the face-off, and the young man from St. Catharines, Ontario, can flat-out shoot the pill. In at number 6, we go to Hockeytown, Joe Louis Arena for the back end of the Wolverines and Spartans. Sick mitts here from Brett Perlini goes shelf early in the second of the power play to give Michigan State a 2-1 lead at that point of the game. Well, certainly great stuff there in plays 10 through 6, and we'll get you plays 5 through 1 a little bit later in the show. Of course, coming up this Saturday, February the 18th, is Hockey Day in Michigan. So many great events are scheduled around the state, and the CCHA is certainly proud to be a part of it. It is Warrior Hockey Day in Michigan. And recently, some of the Red Wings had a little fun helping promote the great day that is Warrior Hockey Day in Michigan. Here's a closer look.
Warrior Hockey Day in Michigan. It's a big day. Your thoughts?
In Sweden, we have Nobeldagen and Gustav Adolfsdagen Day, but nothing like this.
It's a day worthy of a flying octopus.
We'll come down and teach the kids how to grow a playoff beard. Kidding.
Get 20% off the Warrior gear at Pirani's Hockey World February 18th and 19th. Visit warrior.com.
We get the day off, right?
Well, great stuff there from the Red Wings, and good to see them be a part of it. And they will be a part of Hockey Day in Michigan coming up on Saturday. Tri-hockey clinics are all over at various rinks around Detroit. The Red Wings have their outdoor open practice at Clark Park in downtown Detroit as well. And the 24 hours of nonstop hockey will be going on at Joe Louis Arena. All part of Warrior Hockey Day in Michigan, all part of USA's Hockey Weekend across America as well. The Hockey and the D-Tour will be at Yost on Friday. And want to remind you, too, on Saturday afternoon at Pirani's in Livonia on Middle Belt. The Fox Sports Detroit girls will be there, so a lot of good times coming up for this year's Warrior Hockey Day in Michigan. Here is a 4th and bonus installment of our Behind the Mask series. This week, Jeff Sell takes a closer look at Jared Coro of Northern Michigan and Mike Johnson of Notre Dame.
And first off this week, we take a look at Notre Dame's Mike Johnson. He paints that famous Fighting Irish gold onto his mask and also pays tribute to the famous Golden Dome of the University of Notre Dame.
That's just something different that I haven't had on any of my other helmets, so it's kind of like a personal thing, but it goes along with the school also.
And now we look at Northern Michigan's Jared Coro, who had a childhood infatuation with the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas and also incorporates his nickname growing up, Lurch, from the Addams Family.
So this rope here, it's like the Addams Family, rings the doorbell. I got Jack Skellington's hand coming around.
Jeff, thanks a lot. Let's move on now and get you to our offensive, defensive, our goaltender, and our Rookie of the Week in the CCHA. Once again, throwing it right back to our own Jeff Sell.
The post-game offensive player of the week goes to Kyle Bonus of Ferris State. He scored twice, including the game-winning goal on Friday night against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. the Gladiator Defenseman of the Week. The first player to win the Defenseman of the Week and the Offensive Player of the Week in the CCHA this year goes to Torrey Krug of the Michigan State Spartans, and his weekend was highlighted by 2 goals and an assist Friday against Michigan in that win. CCHA Goaltender of the Week for this week, also a Ferris State Bulldog. Those honors are bestowed to Taylor Nelson. He stopped 58 total shots and let in just 1 goal in the weekend series over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish this past weekend. And rounding things out for the Players of the Week, the Gong Show Rookie of the Week in the CCHA belongs to Max McCormick of Ohio State. He scored 2 goals in a weekend split series against Western Michigan. And that'll do it for this week's Players of the Week in the CCHA. For CCHA Now, I'm Jeff Sell. Now back to Ben.
Thanks, Jeff. We appreciate it. Now it's time to take a look at this week's USCHO.com poll. And as we told you in the beginning of the show this week, Ferris State, first time the Bulldogs have ever been #1 in the country. And let's take a look. And it looks real good for the young men up in Big Rapids. 27 first place votes, a record of 28-4, moving up 5 spots to the #1 spot. Michigan, they're down 1 to #5. And then in the bottom half of the poll, Notre Dame at 13, Michigan State at 16, Ohio State 17, Western Michigan 18th, Miami, they move up 1 to 19th, and Northern Michigan basically switching spots. They're in at number 20 this week in the poll. Well, down to crunch time, of course, in the CCHA. Just 2 weeks remaining in the regular season as we show you the games ahead for this week. We'll start things off on Friday. Alaska's at Michigan State, Bowling Green at Ferris State, Western Michigan, big series up in the Sioux with Lake Superior. Northern's at Michigan for 2, and Notre Dame is down in Oxford. Same matchups on Saturday, and we'll now look at the TV schedule for you this weekend around the CCHA. Northern Michigan at Michigan on the Big Ten Network on Friday. Notre Dame at Miami on CBS Sports Network on Friday as well. I'll be joined by Jim Paradise for that one. On Saturday, Hockey Day in Michigan brought to you by Warrior. Northern Michigan at Michigan, 5 o'clock start with Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond. I'll be joined by Darren Elliott for the nightcap, Alaska at Michigan State at 8 o'clock. Those games both on Fox Sports Detroit on Saturday. Well, certainly some great action this weekend to watch on the tube and maybe even on the internet and the radio. Speaking of great action, it's time now to go to our top 5 plays of the week. They're much talked about, highly anticipated. Here we go with number 5. And it's more like the Torrey Krug demo reel, and it's well reserved for the CCHA Defensive Player of the Week. First from Friday, a rocket that cut Michigan's lead to 2-1. Later, a snapshot that tied at 2-2. Later in the third, great vision and great touch to find Matt Berry for the game winner. Spartans scored 3 in a row to beat Michigan 3-2 Friday, and Torrey Krug was in on all 3 goals. Up to Big Rapids, and one of the reasons Ferris State is #1 in the rankings this week. Goaltender of the week, Taylor Nelson, robbing Austin Wuthrich in front. Then later, the flash of leather on sniper Anders Lee. Our number 4 plays of the week. In at number 3, to Joe Louis we go. Alex Gupto, high-scoring freshman for the Wolverines, trying to beat Will Yanikev. Right pad stopped, though, by Yanikev. That was big. He's been big for him as of late. In at number 2, to Alaska we go. The Nanooks, they go hard to the net on this play. Watch the left side of the screen. Big Andy Toronto will come in and bat it in out of midair. Game winner for Toronto as the Nanooks won the game 3-2 the final. And in at number 1 this week in our top 10 plays of the week, it goes to the #1 team in the country and sniper Jordy Johnston. A sick pass from Matthew Kerzinger as he zings it across to him, and he tries to put it through the top of the net. Ferris State outscoring Notre Dame in the weekend series 8-1, and Johnston gets our #1 play of the week. Well, that's a wrap on this edition of CCHA Now. Jam-packed as always. We hope you enjoyed it. Want to remind you, once again, it is Hockey Day in Michigan, Warrior Hockey Day in Michigan, coming up this Saturday. Great events all over the Metro Detroit area and all over the state, so we hope you get out and take part in that. Want to remind you, you can go to mihockeynow.com for much more information on this year's Warrior Hockey Day in Michigan. Want to remind you, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, of course, and at ccha.com. And this weekend, our Hockey in the D Tour stop will be at Yost. They'll be at Joe Louis Arena on Saturday for Hockey Day in Michigan. Special thanks and shout out this week to Katie Maddie, our student ambassador here on CCHA Now. For all of our crew, my name is Ben Holden. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you again next week.